Hey, good morning. This is Harry from Spurs TV. I'm back with another video. I know it's been a while since I've actually done one of these solo things. And yeah, Spurs drew at Arsenal yesterday, which is a very good result. I have to admit, I expected we were going to go there and just fall apart. But I'm just going to quickly talk about the game and then things that stood out for me. Of course, the result. I would have taken a point beforehand, and I'll take it now. But near the end of the match, I think if Madison would have stayed on, we could have actually got all three. The momentum was actually with Spurs in the last half of the game. I know Arsenal had a succession of corners, which they had, but I do think that if Madison stayed on, Spurs probably would have won the game. Rice coming off in the first half, at the end of the first half, sorry, I think was quite significant because to me it gave Spurs the edge in that second half, and I don't agree that was a penalty. I don't think Romero can really move his hand out of the way. But just some takeaways. Adoji, he's on the road to being a top class left back for me. Porro, he was my man of the match. I think a lot of people had doubts about him down the right up against obviously Martinelli or Trossard, who didn't play, but Jesus did play down that side, and he dealt with him really well. He even offered an attacking threat, Porro. And I think he's like growing into the role as a right back, sorry. And it's kind of like with Walker, where Walker started off not that great. He went out on loan, came back, but in this case with Porro, it's like he's just obviously we'll talk about the rest of the defense in a minute, but he's just settling in so well in that position now. For me, Romero, this is why he wasn't in my combined 11s for Spurs and Arsenal. I thought he was poor in the derby. I hate to say it, but it's almost like we saw the old Romero almost, because there were some rash challenges in there as well that people are probably going to try and forget. But yeah, he wasn't that great. I'm not even talking about the mistakes made with the own goal and obviously the handball, because the handball we couldn't do much about. But it's just a general play. It almost became relaxed again, and it almost played us into trouble. Van der Ven, on the other hand, top class. Honestly, Van der Ven is going to be the next Spurs captain. Midfield, Bissouma and Sarr, despite having bookings, they were brilliant in the second half. I didn't think Bissouma played well in the first half, if I'm being honest. Madison, honestly, so good, top class, man. Madison, you can argue after this game that he's probably better than Odegaard. He does have a few years on him, but Madison was class, man. He was so good. And obviously, Son got his goals. I didn't think he had the best game, but he took his chances. The first goal for me was a lot harder than the second, where the second one, Madison gave him like the perfect pass on the plate. He had to score that. And then obviously, Kulusevski again struggled down the right for me. I know he was involved in a few of the attacks, but I just don't think we've played with strengths playing him on the right in this system. I'd rather see him in the middle, like we did against Sheffield United. Of course, Brennan Johnson made a start on the left, which is quite interesting. So it seems to me that Ange is using him left and right. And I even think we might see Johnson in the middle at some point. Just as just to see what happens, really. And I think he did all right. He had obviously a few chances where he hit it straight at Raya or close to that. Obviously, the first big chance he had, he scuffed it. And if he hit it well enough, it probably would have gone in. Yeah, so went there, and despite all these arrogant Arsenal fans thinking they're going to spank us, which I thought was quite weird anyway, we got a result, and we moved to Liverpool next week. I quite fancy us to beat Liverpool now, because on the back of a result like this, where, like I said, I think we could have won the game easily in the end of Madison Stadium. I think, yeah, but my takeaways is that without Madison, I think the creativity is going to really struggle. Unless we try something, like I said, move Kulusevski into the middle if Madison's missing. The back line, again, if Van der Ven goes down, I think that's a bigger miss than if Romero goes down. But at the same time, we don't really have backups for either of them. And the full-back wise, again, Porro is growing to that role, and I don't think Emerson's going to really get a game. In the long run, in like a year or so, in the summer maybe, next summer, Emerson might be going and we might bring someone else in. But for now, Emerson can do a job there. I think the left side is probably more important. Without Udogie, we're going to struggle. And obviously, Vicario, a lot of people can disagree with me about this. I still think he looks shaky. I just want him to see him come out and command and, take control. I just think a lot of times he came out and just palmed the ball out, or he didn't even come out when he should have done. And there were instances which really had my heart in my mouth. And I do think sometimes we are kind of overplaying it. And I think we need to cut that out, especially at the back, overplaying it way too much. Just sometimes, I'm not saying don't pass it around the back at all, but sometimes you need to just get rid of it. Because there were instances where we were doing it, and in the end, get to Vicario just kicks out anyway. So you might as well just try a long ball. But maybe that's because we didn't have someone like Richarlison up front to just control it. And when Richarlison came on, he did all right. But again, he didn't really have much to play. Solomon came on later on as well before him, and he was all right. He didn't really... I really wanted Solomon to attack White, but he didn't really seem to do anything like that. And yeah, so good result. We move. We've got Liverpool next week, 5:30 Saturday. Should be a big game. And I actually think we'll win. And yeah, Harry out.